So 60 kilogram pull-up is one of my goals. I've made a playlist on this channel called The Road to 60 Kilo, where I document my journey up until I get to that goal. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you the steps I'm currently taking and plan to take in the future to make sure I reach that goal. So let's get into it. So far, I've been using basic linear progression, training the pull-up twice a week. Every time I can perform a set of 5 reps, the next session I increase the weight on my pull-ups by 1.25 kilos and then rinse and repeat that over and over again. Simple, basic and effective. So I started months ago with 10 kilos, performing the pull-up twice a week, Monday and Thursday, doing 3 sets of 5 and then increasing the weight slowly from there. In the recent weeks, recovery has started to be a bit more of an issue and I've been feeling a lot more fatigued overall. And I've noticed that fatigue has started to bleed into my other exercises during my workout. So the past 2 or 3 weeks, I've cut down to 1 set of 5 twice a week. Still adding weight every time I get a set of 5 reps, but instead of 3 sets of 5, I'm doing 1 set of 5 followed by 3 to 4 back-off sets of body weight pull-ups. For the back-off sets, I've been playing around with L-sit pull-ups. The reason is, this simple modification in my form makes my leverages a lot harder, so then it makes the pull-up a lot harder to perform. It keeps my reps low and overall fatigue is much more manageable because I'm only doing body weight. These back-off sets, they add a nice break to my training, physically but also mentally. Because I'm doing body weight, I can focus a lot more on the control, the stretch and the squeeze of the pull-up. I don't have to psych myself up 6 times a week and get amped up and get in the zone to perform a heavy set. And also it just adds some more variety. Doing the same thing over and over again, it gets boring sooner than later. So it's a good thing just to spice up my training. But also I'm getting in some extra volume with those pull-ups that will support my heavy 5 rep sets of the weighted pull-up. That's a good hack for any calisthenic movement you do. Before you start adding external weight, think about how you can modify your leverages to make the exercise a lot harder, to keep your reps lower and keep you in the optimal hypertrophy rep range. The linear progression model I'm using is a time-tested method for gaining strength. It's often prescribed to beginners when starting out their training journey due to its effectiveness. Famous programs like Starting Strength and StrongLifts 5x5 base their whole core concept around this basic linear progression model. And they do that for one simple reason: it works. In a nutshell, your body and neural drive, which is a fancy way of saying your nervous system strength, become very good at performing the movement that you are practicing, which in turn skyrockets your strength over the coming months. Gaining strength is a lot of a faster process than growing actual muscle tissue. So for the first few weeks and few months, you're mainly getting a stronger nervous system, your neural drives increasing, with muscle hypertrophy slowly following behind. But linear progression isn't only for beginners. Even more seasoned lifters can implement a linear progression method if they start performing an exercise that is brand new to them, that they've never done before. Obviously for a beginner, everything is brand new to them, hence why this is prescribed for all of their lifts, but anyone can do a linear progression method if an exercise is new to them, milking out the exercise for all of its strength gains and not overcomplicating things. The only downside to linear progression is it doesn't work forever, and sooner or later you're going to end up stalling. Depending on different things like your genetics, your age, your recovery, your calorie intake, all these different things, they all kind of decipher when you're going to stall. So one person could stall after 4 months, another person could do this for even 13, 14 or 15 months. So it really depends on your situation. And then after you stall, that's when you need to put a bit more thought into your programming. But for my situation, so far so good. Linear progression is still working very effectively for me, so I'm going to continue with it and milk it out for as long as I can. And then when I do stall, I'll reduce the total weight by 10 to 15% and then rebuild back up from there. That is what linear progression prescribes to people once they stall. So you get the total amount of weight you've lifted and you subtract 10 to 15% from that weight. Start from that lower weight and then rebuild slowly back up. And then once those weight resets stop working for me, that's when I'll start looking into more advanced programming methods. Something like a conjugate system, where basically you have one heavy day and one light day throughout the week. And that is my plan, to hit a 60 kilo pull-up. You can use this for any lift that you want to increase. So perform the lift 2 to 3 times a week. Personally, I would stick with 2 times a week. I find 3 seems to be a bit tough to recover from. And then once you get all of your sets with all the prescribed reps you aim to get, if it's a barbell movement, add 2.5 kilo total weight to the bar. If it's a calisthenics movement, add just 1.25 kilo to the weight belt you're using. And then from there, milk out that progression for as long as you can. Really get every inch of gains you can out of linear progression. Then once you stall and you can't seem to get any further, you can't seem to progress more, then look into more advanced methods like double dynamic or even conjugate system methods or any other method. There's a bunch of them out there. Do some Googling and you'll find one. So that's everything I have to say on that topic. Try it out for yourself and see how you go from there. Till next time, peace.